had always considered himself a rational and level-headed individual. He lived a quiet life in a cozy apartment on the fourth floor of an old building in the heart of the city. But one fateful night, the tranquility of his existence was shattered by a series of disturbing events that would forever haunt his nightmares. It was a chilly autumn evening, and Ben was engrossed in a game on his PS5 in his dimly lit living room. The soft glow of his gaming console cast eerie shadows on the walls, creating an atmosphere perfect for a spooky tale. The clock on the wall ticked away, and the city outside was slowly descending into silence. Then, from above, came a noise that sent a shiver down Ben's spine. It started as faint muffled thumps like someone moving heavy furniture. Ben dismissed it at first, assuming it was just his neighbor rearranging their living space. But as the minutes passed, the noises grew louder and more unsettling. It was as though something heavy was being dragged across the floor above him. Ben's curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to investigate. He cautiously made his way to the staircase and ascended to the fifth floor, where the sounds were originating. As he climbed, the noises grew more distinct and disturbing. They were no longer random thumps, but had become a rhythmic pattern of heavy, deliberate steps. When Ben reached the fifth floor landing, he realized that the apartment above him was vacant. The tenant had moved out a few weeks ago. The realization sent a chill down his spine. If the apartment was empty, what could possibly be making those noises? As he stood in the hallway, the footsteps continued, now echoing loudly in the silence of the building. Ben couldn't make sense of it. It was as though something supernatural was at play. A sense of dread washed over him as he slowly backed away from the vacant apartment's door. Then, to his absolute horror, the heavy footsteps behind the vacant apartment began to mimic his own. Every step he took, they followed in perfect synchrony. It was as though some malevolent force was mocking him, taunting him with its eerie imitation. Ben's heart raced as he rushed back down to his own apartment. He locked the door behind him, trying to rationalize what he had just experienced. But there was no rational explanation. He was alone in his apartment, and yet the footsteps continued above, echoing his every move. Terror consumed Ben as he realized that something supernatural and sinister was lurking in the apartment above him. It wasn't just a random occurrence or a product of his imagination. It was a malevolent presence, and it had sensed him. The realization left him paralyzed with fear, trapped in his own home with an entity that seemed determined to torment him. Throughout that long and harrowing night, the disturbing footsteps continued, driving Ben to the brink of madness. He could do nothing but huddle in fear, praying for dawn to break and release him from the sinister grip of the supernatural force that had invaded his apartment building. From that night on, Ben was never the same. Forever haunted by the terrifying experience of the syncopated, otherworldly footsteps that echoed his every move.